Okay, so yeah, we'll do some nice back stretch. I think everybody in here, to be fair, suffers from some kind of lower back pain. Okay, so let's take ourselves into a lovely deep warrior pose and just kind of go as low as you can, just so you're trying to get a little bit of a stretch through the... I sometimes fall in this. Morning, Jen. And then we're just going to come over and take a lovely deep lateral stretch, but really push that top hand forward. Take a beautiful in-breath. And out. In. And out. Last one, breath in. And out. And then gently come up and then just sink a little bit more if you can. And just look at that foam, take a beautiful in-breath. I've just thought, what's that on the nail? It's a wax from the candles. And then gently back. So you can always straighten that front knee if you prefer. It's more of a triangle pose. Or you can keep it bent. Just take a breath in. Oh, it's Good Friday and it's raining. Take an inhale. And out breath. In breath. And out. Two more. Last one. And then gently back and in, kind of internally rotate your feet a little bit, and then just take the hands together, and we're just going to close our eyes, but we're really going to squeeze through our scapulars. So we're really opening up the chest. Take a lovely in-breath. Two more. Last one. Lovely. And then to that other side. So again, sink quite low if you can. Yeah, and then take that elbow onto, but try not to squish you kind of ear to shoulder. Just find that nice gap. And again, really reach. And just notice, for me, this side isn't as tight. Just notice if you're carrying more tension through the left or right side. Breath in. Don't close your eyes or you'll fall. Okay. Two more. Last one. And then again, gently up. And then either bend knee, or you can straighten that leg. Bring your hand back. Take an inhale. Two more. Last one. And then back to centre, so or you can just do this one again, or if you want to, guys, with me, you can do a little roll forward, so chin to chest. You can either just go to a half roll back, or all the way down.
I love this stretch.
Yeah, and then just gently, really try and push your hands up to ceiling, just see how far they go. And then just bring the hands back down to the sacrum area and then onto the floor. Again, depending on how wide your feet are and depending on flexibility, you might get fingertips, you might get palms. Some people get forearms, but don't force it and just really relax into it. Have some lovely, lovely rocks forward and backwards. Take that beautiful in-breath through the nose. And out. Two more. Last one. Lovely. And then just start softening the knees as you bring your feet gently back into the centre and all the way up to standing position. Lovely. And then we'll just do some really nice pelvic circles. So again, just depending on if you have to avoid flexion, you might not want to stick the bum right the way under, sorry. So just you go to your range. And let's go the other direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we'll do a little bit of rotation and lateral today as well, just to see where the back is. So just again, always with rotation, just go a little bit careful. It's lovely to get that full rotation, but just make sure the back feels good doing it. So just take your hands into prayer position. And we're just going to gently, so one foot in front of the other can be a bit of a challenge. So if it feels too much, just bring your feet back together. Otherwise, we're going to gently draw the tummy in. And we're just going to rotate in one direction. And when we get there to where you feel comfortable, like I say, you might want to really push it. But again, just make sure it feels comfortable. Take an inhale through the nose. Out breath. In breath. Out breath, centre. The other way, make sure the shoulders are down. I can feel mine creeping up. And again, inhale. Out breath. In breath. Out breath, centre. Beautiful. Keep them there and just keep your gaze forward, but take your hands up towards the ceiling. Take an in breath. Out breath, centre. Back to the heart. One more. And back down. If you feel comfortable, just see if you can close your eyes. If you don't worry. Just hold the pose. Two more breaths. Last one. And gently open. Well done if you managed that. Sometimes you can feel it. And then let's switch. Exactly the same, but we'll do a slightly different action with our shoulders. So just take your arms out wide. Make sure the shoulders start hiking up. So we place them back down. And again, just have a little, almost like a little bit of a squeeze of the shoulder blades, just to open up that chest again. And then we're just going to take it round. And again, lovely big in breath. Out breath. In. Back to centre. Beautiful. Keep that navel connected. Go the other way. In breath. Out. In. Back to centre. Well done. And this time just grab hold of your little knees. And then again, if you can, just close your eyes. Last one. And just shows you how much we're taking in. And then just give your legs a little bit of an in and out, guys, and we'll just do a little bit more balance. So again, feel free to just have your ruler nearby. Obviously, you know, it's, as I always say, it's not static, so it's not quite as stable as holding a chair. But hopefully you won't need it by the end of it. So we're just going to either take it into here. These are the slippiest leggings in the world, so I'm not sure my foot will stay up, but you can always take that foot to the lower leg. And again, that little connection, not to your t-shirt, it's boiling hot, and you're just gently drawing your navel away. And we're just going to hold. We're just going to really feel, try and feel the earth. So really push that big toe, the little toe, the middle of the foot and the heel into the mat. Try not to let that foot laterally start lifting up. And then just hold, really quite tough to keep that big toe always on the ground. And then we're just going to go over into a big inhale. Out breath, centre. make sure we do that ankle circle now here to just get that. And last one. So yeah, balance work obviously really important for, you know, bone density and all the rest of it, but it can jam the joint a bit. So just take the foot you've been stood on out to the front and just laterally bring that foot over. And it might feel lovely or it might feel quite tight. And over. And 2 more. 2. And 1. And then that same leg we've been stood on, just bring it up and just open up that joint again by just circling through the ankle joint and then circle the other way. Lovely. And then just flex and point it. Flex, point, and then just take it in and out, in and out. Beautiful. Well done. Let's go to that other side. Yeah. I was getting and then just yeah, that's why I use the roller, so I remember to move it and then it reminds me which leg I've done. And again, push the big toe. So for me, this is I always feel that this toe really wants to lift, so I have to really force it into the mat. And feel like you're drawing your femur, that big thigh bone up, and then just hold. Let's take 3 big in-out breaths. Beautiful. And take your thumb and your next finger together, and then the 3 fingers squeeze together. And then again, keep that gaze fixated, and then bring the hands in and then back out. 2, 3, 4. Beautiful. 4 more. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. And again, the foot you've been stood on, take it out to the front, just do that little kind of lateral. And sometimes I don't suffer with shin splints, but I know some people do, and there's a little exercise that when I do this, I realise, I'll show you in a sec, I realise how tight I am in the foot. But we'll just lift it up and do the same as what we did on the other side. So just circle for 4. And how does it feel? Does it feel stiff or does it feel really nice? Try it with your partners this, well, you two are stood together, but and then flex and point. But it's quite alarming how little, how little flexibility people have sometimes in their ankle joint. They're really, really stiff and then in and out.
Apparently my feet are too wobbly.
Ah, right, well, that's an issue as well.
They've said that might be part of why I'm getting so much pain.
Yeah.
So I've got to do, I'm doing a lot of balance work to make my feet
strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so this one.
I love that one.
Yeah,
I tell my clients to do this.
It's really, so I mean for some, like when I do this, like the stretch through the front of my foot, you wouldn't think that those, it's quite nice if you do it at home, if you've got like a little cushion underneath, because it can feel a bit uncomfortable, and then just do the other side, you know, see if it's any different. Yeah, my grandfather couldn't join the war, like, and this is only because my cousin, you know, when you do your family tree, she went all the way back. And the reason why on his thing was wobbly ankles, which is apparently some kind of form. And the reason I'm telling you is my cousin who's got Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, so she's got a severe form of hypermobility, which is again that wobbliness, that kind of. But how weird! That's what was on his actual discharge.
You see on some, don't you, that because they have flat feet.
Yeah. It's not doing it with your feet, no. There's no history in feet, guys. Get your shoulders down. And then, do you think you're a bit hypermobile, have they said?
They haven't said that. No.
Interesting. But the one good, my cousin was in a wheelchair for quite a long time. She was so severe with Ehlers-Danlos, but she's managed to, she's a lot better now. But one positive with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, because it's to do with the collagen, your ligaments and all the rest of it. She's like 52, she looks about 28.
Wow.
It's really weird. There used to be a woman on Coronation Street, I don't watch it, my mum told me she was in a wheelchair and she had Ehlers-Danlos and she was the same. She looks like 20 years younger. Something to do with, I'm not quite sure, but something to do with the collagen. Mind you, I think I'd rather look 65 and be able to walk.
Yeah, definitely.
10, well maybe not 65, but 10 more, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful, and then to your front. Yeah, start trying to pick things up with your toes, Emma.
Yeah, I'm doing a hand kick.
Yeah, hand kick's good, really good. Then shoulders down. We did a lot in that course in Copenhagen, but the problem is, a lot of people in class are like, what are we doing? Unless you've got an issue, you don't understand the importance of it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's quite funny, it's quite amusing to do actually, isn't it? Picking it up and...
Well, do you know what? It's surprising how hard that is.
Yeah,
to
it is.
grip something like
Yeah.
a handkerchief
Yeah.
with your toes.
Yeah, and like big,
It's not for me.
and like big toe on the ground, lift your four toes on the ground, lift your big toe, all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
But it's funny because I wouldn't have thought that that would have been my issue, but you know, quite often I say with the balance that is
Yeah.
because I'm cold,
Yeah.
cold,
Yeah.
because I have bad sinuses.
Yeah.
Now I'm wondering if it's not to do with that at all.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. And take that back heel down. Take a beautiful in breath. Last one. Lovely. And let's come to the other side. So again, that nice back long leg. So you're getting a bit of a stretch as well through the hip flexor. And let's go down. Yeah, and just take a look at your knee. Is it keeping, this is my bad one, but is it keeping level or is it turning in? Is it turning out? 7, 6, yeah.
You said that.
5,
Until you finished.
3, 2, and 1. Well done. Wait onto the front knee. Drive that heel down. Take a beautiful in breath. Last one. Gorgeous. Okie dokie, let's take the ball, let's place it between our inner thighs. So again, let's really think about our feet, because I do think I have an issue with, that's why I got my ankles where I got quite, so I do a lot of strength work in the feet. But very easy, you'll see people in classes, in big classes, where it's hard to kind of watch, where some people do this when they come up onto the toes. So again, really feel that you're pushing that big toe into the mat, otherwise you're going to come out of alignment. And then give the ball a bit of a squeeze, and we're just going to come up and lower, and pushing, and lower. It's kind of doing things with purpose really, you're actually thinking about not just doing it.
For me as well, I have to, because I'm supposed to do them all 4 times a day,
Yeah.
and because I'm so busy and I forget, so I have to do it with, I have to give myself little things like when I'm brushing my teeth,
Yeah,
when I'm putting the kettle on.
yeah, stand on one leg when you brush your teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I've started doing that now as well, actually. It's a great idea.
10 more. 10, 9. Good. Yeah. 7, 6, 5, 4. So the calves probably kicking in. Your calves. 3, 2. We'll make sure we stretch around a second. 1. And then take the ball and put it between. Obviously, if you haven't got one at home, guys, and just place it between. That's it. And now we're going to do. Again, just keep that little squeeze if you can on the ball, and we're going to come back and squeeze it when you come up. Back, squeeze. Back, squeeze. Beautiful. Let's do 10 more. Bone to wall. 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lovely, fabulous. Take that away. Let's just give our calf just a nice little stretch. So take the heel down, and just if you have got a slight, if you get a bit of inflammation through the Achilles tendon, sometimes it's nice to just raise the heel a couple of inches and soften that knee, and it can take it down to the lowest layers muscle, and then push the heel all the way back down again. Take a breath in. And then again, just raise the heel ever so slightly, soften the knee ever so slightly, and then push down again. And lovely, let's go to the other side. So again, push the heel down, feel the stretch, mainly through the big kind of gastrocnemius. Do you struggle getting that back heel down then?
Do my left side work. Yeah.
And then again, soften the knee a little bit, take the heel up a little bit, hold, and then drive the heel back down. And again. Is everyone warm enough or too warm?
I'm having a hot flush again.
Well, I do know what's wrong actually. But probably taking each other up for a week and I can tell. Doing a bit of an experiment, so yeah, I do it. And then just take the feet, chin towards the chest. So, I've got a bit of a knee issue, so my physio's told me to really lock my legs out. When we got taught Pilates and when you get taught, they tend to say don't lock your knees. Physio's told me the opposite. I don't know why Pilates and yoga teachers get told that all the time. So I mean, it's not about locking out, but if you want to strengthen your knees, keep your legs straight. I often bend mine like this and should you need to straighten them. So just find what's comfortable for you guys. Take the hips backwards and then just gently bring yourself down, or come into whatever. We're going to come into a downward dog hunter. If you want to get straight into a downward dog, you can. So with a downward dog, let's do a couple of versions of it. So just take the heels super high and have your hands quite far away, kind of like a long downward dog, and it just creates a bit more space in the discs. It will mean that the heels are unlikely to get down as when you're in a short one, but that doesn't matter. We're going to soften the left knee and we're going to drive the right heel towards the ground. Just notice how tight the calves may be. And then take that heel away and bend that knee and take the other heel down. And again, always noticing the difference between left and right. Some people are pretty symmetrical, most people carry tension more on one side. And then switch again, nice and slow. Take the other heel down, hold. Beautiful, the other side. And then raise both the heels. Walk your hands back just a little bit more. So heels as high as you can, but then bend your knees and then straighten your legs and try and take the heels towards the ground. Doesn't matter if they don't reach. And then bring the heels up nice and high again. Bend the knees. Straighten the legs, bring the heels down. Take the heels up, bend the knees, straighten and down. And again, bend, straighten the legs, creating that bit of space in the disc. Heels down. Whoa. One more time. Missed that little noise, they're not making much noise today, Paul. And then bring it down towards that not child's pose, sorry guys, to do some cat-cows. Again, if you have to avoid too much flexion, just go more into your cow pose and hold that, and vice versa. So whichever one you feel the most benefit, you can hold it for a few more breaths. We're going to take an inhale through the nose. And nice and slowly just start. You can just round to neutral if you want, or round into the full cat pose. So obviously if you're in this pose a lot, I mean I don't mean you walk around in a cat, but if you're rounded quite a lot, then you might feel that when you come into cow, you want to stay there a bit longer. Take a breath in, opening up the chest. Amanda and I went on a workshop, a Kundalini. Remember we had to hold a cow pose for 3 bloody minutes?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Wow.
Which I know what the rationale, you know, we're all about opening up the bloody chakras at the front of your body, weren't it? But geez, 3 minutes.
A bit of a bonkers.
It were a bit bonkers.
Workshop.
I've never felt so normal in my life. And one more each way, guys. And then let's try this one. So Angela, this should always feel really nice. Don't overthink rolling cat. It's literally hips in one direction, then you go into cat pose, then you take the hips in the other, and you go into cow. Or you might just want to not go into cat and just go into cow and just rock kind of in neutral. Can feel quite nice as well. And we're going to switch directions. Yeah, sometimes I put double up mine, Amanda. And then bring the big toes together and just sit into them. I'm just mindful of backs today, guys. So let's just do a nice stretch. Let's see how it feels. Let's take some lovely in breaths. Again, you can give your hands a bit of a pumping action. And really do some lovely deep in out breaths. Last one. Walk your hands round to the right, reach the top hand over the bottom hand, take a lovely in breath. Last one. And let's go in the other direction. In breath in. Last one. Oh, I can't believe you're so tight when you're angry. And then come down onto your front. So let's do. So with prone work, guys, what we're going to do is we're just going to relax kind of the head so there's no tension. And we're going to think about, so we've done this before, not for a while, but I did it the other week, and it's really lovely exercise because it gets lengthening in the hip flexors and works the glute as well without kind of having to be on your wrist. So you lift your leg to kind of like mid-thigh. So you really lengthen. So let's everybody lengthen their left leg. Have a bit more softness in the right. And you want your hip bones to keep on the floor. So you're not lifting that left hip bone, it's keeping down. So really lengthen the the left foot. So I feel like you're pointing it. And then bring it in. So bend at the knee with a pointed foot, and then flex your foot, bring the heel towards you, then point the foot and take it long. So if you need to look at what I'm doing first, guys, then all means do. So point as you bend, flex as you pull the heel in, point again in a bent leg, and then straighten it. But try and raise that knee and lower thigh away if you can. Yeah, so keep the core engaged, draw the tummy in, point, flex, point, lengthen. Squeeze the glute as you point, flex, point, lengthen. Yeah? Good. So it's a little bit of kind of like coordination as well. So point, flex, point, lengthen. So as you bend your knee and you point, you should feel the glutes kicking in. Flex, point again, lengthen, one more. And relax, give your bum a little bit of a wiggle. So really just wiggle side to side. And then let's go to the other side. So really lengthen the right leg. Lift the leg so it's on your mid-thigh. Keep the foot pointed. Bend the knee as you bring it in. Flex the foot as you bring the heel towards the bum. Point and lengthen. Keep them hips down. Keep the core engaged. Navel to spine. Imagine a piece of A4 paper can get underneath your belly button. And again. So point, flex, point, lengthen. Point, keep the core engaged, really important in prone. Four more, 4, 3, 2, 1. And beautiful. Bend both knees, do a nice little windscreen wipe side to side. Wonderful windscreen wipe.
Yeah, me too.
And then you can have a little circle as well. You just releasing. So prone work really, if you're kind of pushing your pubic bone down and drawing your tummy in, it shouldn't go into the lower back too much, but it can feel a little bit uncomfortable if you're not used to it. And then grab hold of your left foot with your left hand and bring that heel into your bottom. Again, if you want more of a stretch through the quads, you can push your pubic bone down into the mat and then just lift that leg a bit. It's too much on this side for me, but just really deep quadricep stretch. And then the other side, again, pull the heel in. Again, it may feel very different on this side, so you may be able to raise that leg away from the mat. Hold. And then lengthen both legs again. We're not doing much of this. I know some people find prone work hard, particularly if you're around the computer all day or you drive or you're rounded. But we're just going to do darts. So we're going to take our palms in towards the seams of our trousers. So your palms are facing into your legs. You're going to push the pubic bone down into the mat and you're going to draw that navel away from an imaginary hot mat. So really send your fingertips down to your feet, and then we're going to really keep that core engaged. And all we're going to do is lift our forehead and our chest a little bit, really pushing our fingers down. We're just going to hold. If you're feeling that your lower back come down a little bit, it's not about lifting too high into that banana back. And then just have a little test, guys. Take your right hand on your right butt and take your left hand on your left butt cheek. Yeah? And then can you interlink your fingers and can you pull your hands down towards your feet? Really opening up the chest. Hold. And gently, gently back down. Take your hands back onto your head and have another little windscreen wipe. I just noticed we haven't done any weights, guys. Never mind, because I want to do some other stuff today, but I think that's a bit more important. So, let's come over onto our Excellent. I wouldn't mind, I laid them all out when I was thinking, I'll have this one, I'll have this one. Anyway, okie dokie. Next time. So let's take our ball. Let's place it. If you haven't got one at home, don't worry. Just always work. When we're doing bridge, guys, just really feel that your knees aren't coming out to the side. So your feet should be in parallel. And sometimes we think our feet are in parallel and they're not. So sometimes you can sit up, and I used to always get my coach when I was training used to be always moving my feet kind of slightly in or slightly out. So yeah, so what you want to really feel like to activate the pelvic floor is very important with bridge, that you really feel like you are pushing into the mat with your feet, particularly your kind of mid-foot. So keep your shoulders down on the mat and open up your chest. It should feel quite open because we've just done kind of a prone work. So just take a beautiful in-breath through the nose. And then imagine there's a grip underneath that little hollow of the lower back, and we're going to come into that pelvic imprint and squash that poor little grip, and then push your feet into the mat and retaking your spine away bone by bone as we come up onto our shoulder blades, sending our knees forward and our shins, so you're really opening up the hips. Take a beautiful in-breath at the top. And slowly down. Now just think about your back, guys. If the back's a bit tender today, sometimes bridge can feel a bit much, full bridge, so you might decide that you just want to come up into bridge onto the last rib and not come onto the shoulder blades. Let's go again, let's do 3 more. In your own time, remember to fire up the pelvic floor by pushing the feet firmly into the mat. Knees are high, shins are forward, breath in at the top, slowly lower. And again, feel like you want to float your arms up to ceiling. You can do, and then bring them back, but make sure if you are doing this that the ribs are not coming up and out with you. Big inhale at the top. Out breath, floating your spine and your arms back down. Sometimes your arms can feel really quite heavy. Let's do this last one. Keep your arms down on this one. Take it up. And then we're just going to get a little bit of work for kind of really working the inner thigh muscles, which is part of the part of the pelvic floor. So we're going to take a little bit of a change. We're going to bring the balls of our feet away. So we're actually coming onto our heels. Normally we come onto our toes. So we're actually coming onto our heels. Other way, Amanda. Yeah. So feet, oh no, Amanda, you were right, sorry darling, it's not here, I can see. Could you bring that, lovely, lovely. Tuck your tuck your tailbone. Yeah, so this way you're really activating the front of the leg. Yeah, can you feel like your tibialis, that muscle in the lower leg, your quads. And we're just going to hold, and then we're going to squeeze the ball for 10. We're going to squeeze for 9, for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. We're going to take the feet down and we're going to gently come back down to the mat. I find that much harder than heels away. And then we're going to come back into pelvic imprint, back into bridge. And this time we're going to just make sure you're walking your shoulder blades down, make sure they're not kind of hiked up. And then this time bring your heels away onto the balls of the feet. Yeah, into bridge, make sure you're in your bridge position. This time we're going to start coming down, but we're just rolling down onto our last rib, that's all. We're not coming all the way down, and then we're going to fire our hips back up straight away. So start rolling down. onto the last rib, and then push the hips up. And again, push up. And again. Really good for strengthening the knees, the back, the bum, up. Rolling on to the last rib. And up. I'm shaking today, don't I? 5 more. 1 day off. 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Take the heels down. Take a beautiful in breath. And slowly, slowly roll down to the floor. And as always with bridge, guys, give your knees a proper hug into chest. So take 4 away. Oh, sorry, it's falling on your head.
God, I got disco legs there.
Yeah, mine were really shaking them up and then circle the other way. And then lengthen that left leg onto the ground. Keep your right leg into tabletop. Use your left hand to gently, gently bring that leg over the midline. But don't take the foot all the way down. Just rock it in and out to start with. Just rock in and out. Rock in and out. And then if you want, take the same hand at the leg that's in the air out to shoulder height. Turn your head towards that hand and then to bring the foot over. Again, you don't have to bring it all the way to the floor. Quite a deep stretch, but a really important one. Take a lovely in breath. Just allow the tummy to relax. Breath back down. 4 more big breaths. 3. 2. Last one. And gently back to center. Let's switch sides. So again, just a little rocking action just to release any tension. And again, this side might feel much nicer or much tighter. Once you've rocked a few times, bring the foot towards the ground, turn your head the other way, and again, nice in-out breaths. Last one. And lovely, well done. Okay guys, let's do a little bit of core work. So core work obviously will always strengthen the back. So glute work's really important to strengthen the back, but obviously core is as well. So we're not going crazy, but we're really going to try and work on that kind of neutral spine. So just imagine that tray of drinks on your tummy. Keep them nice and level. Well, actually, let's tip them first. So imagine it's a tray. Oh, Abby bought us a bottle of Lance and so we had that one. Oh, I forgot how nice champagne. So we're just going to spill the champagne into our belly button, the imaginary champagne. So you're going to tip your, basically your bum's going to, and lower back's going to come into the mat. Yeah. And then we're going to spill it on the floor by taking our pelvis the other way. So you get that gaping big hole in the lumbar spine, and actually the ribs generally come away as well. And then just do it one more time. And then find that position where the champagne is safe. And we're not going to spill it. So keep that position. And I want you to just really try. Now everyone's different, so if neutral feels too much, you can have a slight little tuck under, but try not to squish the lower back completely into the mat. And then just raise the right leg into tabletop and the left leg. We're going to push the rib cage down, keep the tummy really engaged, navel away from the t-shirt. And we're going to flex the feet, a little bit harder this one. And we're going to, like a piston, we're going to send the left leg forward and then it's coming back in. And the right leg. But we're going to try as much as we can to really imagine that tray of drinks stable. Chin to chest. Make sure you breathe in. So in, out, breath. If you want to lift up into chest lift, you can put the hands behind the head and lift your upper back. But again, try and do it in neutral spine. If you are, your elbows are nice and wide. You can just about see them in your peripheral or take them back on the floor. We've got 4 more. 4, 3. Hands clicking. Is that
That's
your hip?
me.
Is it you?
Both knees to do.
And then pointed foot. Again, draw the tummy in. If you feel like you need a hug into chest, you can before you start. So, and then when you're ready, just come back into. And again, really work on keeping that neutral pelvis. It's harder than you think not to rock. Draw your tummy in. Last 8 single 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. And then again, hug the knees in, have a little roll. The other way. And then just grab the right shins with your hands, pull the knee into chest, left leg, lengthen it, heel on the floor, foot pointed to open up that hip flexor. Take a breath in. And out. In. And out. Beautiful. Let's switch sides again. Bring that knee in. And my favourite one, which is very mild, but I really like it. You're just going to take the feet really, really wide of the mat. We're going to keep our right leg super still. And we're just going to internally rotate our left foot, our left hip, and let the knee follow. So try not to lead with the knee, and you're trying to get that knee to the ground. This is my bad knee, it's a lot better, but it doesn't quite touch this one. Yes, it's just a really gentle opening of the hip. And then bring it back to centre, so your feet are really still, legs are wide. The left leg now is still, and you're internally rotating the right foot, the right hip and the right knee, aiming to get that knee as close to the ground as you can. So my right knee touches, my left doesn't. And it's just a gentle opening of the hip. And then back to centre. And then just take the soles of the feet together. And just let the knees flip out to the side, lay your arms by your side, turning the palms up to ceiling, just into butterfly. And again, just you can rock them a little bit if you want. Take a lovely in breath. Last one. Beautiful. And then just grab your band, guys, for the last minute or two, just to take it into that kind of sciatic, that three-way hip stretch. So we're just going to take the band. If you want to put your ball underneath your head for a bit of a support, you can. So we're just, I don't know, give you a band thing.
No.
Oh, I'm sure I put bands out. Here, take mine, darling. I've got a nibble somewhere. La la la. Yeah, best leg, but it doesn't matter. I can do it. Still. So that leg's nice and straight, guys. And then you're going to take the band in the same hand, and you're just going to bring that leg out to the side. Yeah, into that kind of abducting the leg away to that in a nice way. Yeah.
I don't mind.
Sorry about my toes.
Hopefully your feet don't smell. And then back to centre position. Then take the band in the other hand to bring that leg across the midline. This one can feel a little bit intense sometimes. Yeah. And then just hold. And then back to centre position, and then switch. One of my ladies last night was saying she'd been skiing for about 10 days, and she said she didn't take a band with her and she realised how tight. So honestly, if you go away on holiday and you really do suffer a bit with like tight legs and sciatica, just shove one in your case. They're like, take no space at all. And then hold. Maybe not do it around the pool. I was going to say something then, Paul, but I won't, not with a man in there. And then use the hands in the other and then bring it across that way. Have you seen Sex and the City?
Yeah.
You know what I mean then.
Yeah.
And then, you can tell Paul later. And then back to centre. And then take it down, and then slowly onto your front, my lovelies. Just get up however you want. I always like to do a couple of carts, but by all means, just get up however you feel comfortable. Trying to think for you, Paul, best way so you're not coming into a flexion position. It's hard, isn't it, really? Because you've got to.
So I feel good going into a long down dog.
Yeah.
But I can't do a tight down dog.
Yeah. And then into downward dog, guys. And then walking the hands toward a bit. And then gently up. And happy Good Friday. I'm going to say it's probably easy just to put fun. And Good Friday is, yeah, you doing anything exciting? I've got, so I'm not too bad. I'm working till 1 and then I've got a supermarket with my mum.